today we're going to be talking about Skanda Devi, another facet, another expression uh, of the divine goddess. So, what is the story behind Skanda Devi? So, once upon a time, long ago, there was this person called Taraka. This his full name is Tarakasura. So, there was this asura called Tarakasura. Now, as most of these asuras do, they all go into penance and pray to Brahma because it seems like Brahma is the easiest to appease. Why? Because remember, Saraswati and Brahma are the ones to do with Icha Shakti. So when the Icha is born in us, Brahma participates in manifesting it. So I'm assuming I'm using my logical mind to make these conclusions, but nevertheless, whatever the case may be, so there was this asura called Tarakasura, and he prayed to Brahma. And after long penance and whatever, he got this boon from Brahma, amongst other things, amongst various other powers that he asked for. The boon he asked from Brahma is, if at all anybody should kill me, if at all I should die only in the hands of Shiva's son. Now, as all asuras are, they are very, in their own way, very intelligent and tricky. Now, everybody knew that Shiva was a confirmed yogi, and there's no chance back then. There was no possibility that Shiva was ever going to have a son. So Tarakasura assumed that he is kind of cleared the path for himself. He's going to live eternally. So Brahma got cornered and granted him this wish that he will only die at the hands of Shiva's son. So Tarakasura became very bold, and the first thing he did was go to the Devaloka and attack Indra directly and tell him that, buddy, you are dethroned, now I am the lord of Devaloka also. So he started to rule over Devaloka and, of course, Asura Loka and every other Loka that he could get his grip over, because he was undefeatable. In his mind, he was eternal. He was never going to die because Shiva was a confirmed yogi, mendicant. He was never going to have a son. Now, this was his planning. After that, we know how the story went. Parvati, the Shakti, the goddess, fell in love with Shiva. She did her tapas and then got the attention of Shiva, who agreed to marry her. And when he came with his Bharat in all his full glory, she transformed into Chandrakanta and attracted him completely. So Shiva immediately got so enamored with Parvati and they got married. All of this was not foreseen by Tarakasura. So then all the people all the citizens of the world, so to speak, then went to Shiva and appealed to him, prayed to him, saying, hey, we are not able to tolerate the menace of Tarakasura. He's creating real havoc. So then Shiva created a child out of 6 sparks that emanated from his face. Okay, there is an interesting yantra, that is also considered as representative of these 6 sparks, the 6 points out of which these sparks came, which went into creating that divine child. So, I don't know if, I'm sure many of you are familiar of this particular form of Rangoli or Mogu, as we call it in the south. You have 2 triangles, one triangle that's pointed downwards and another triangle that's pointed upwards that overlap each other. So it is 6 points. So we make you must have seen it for sure. It's a very common kind of a rangoli that is made. So two triangles that are inverted and overlapping each other. So I'll just show it to you on my face, okay? What the positions on the Shiva's face from which the sparks emerged. So it is one eye and this eye. Okay, the center of this eye and the center of this eye and the tip of the nose. So somewhere here. This is the first triangle. So this is joined in a straight line and then you extend it here. The second triangle is from the corner of this lip to the corner of this lip and connected to the center of the forehead where we place our bindi. So this is the second triangle. So 6 sparks emerged from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. And these 6 sparks came into existence as Skanda. So Skanda is the name of that divine child who emerged from the face of Shiva. He is also known as Kartikeya. So today what I'm going to do is I'll see if I can cover...
Also Subramanya Swami, right?
Yes, the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, so these are the spots from which the sparks emerged and Skanda came into existence. This divine child came into existence. And Skanda Devi is considered that form of Devi who was a mother to Skanda. So she was the mother to Skanda. Parvati in the form of Skanda Devi mothered Skanda. So this is the story of Skanda Devi, the version of the goddess who transformed into a mother to take care of this divine child, Skanda, who emerged from the face of Shiva. And Skanda came into manifestation with the intention of slaying Tarakasura. Now, this is the story for today, okay? Now, I want to now translate this into a perspective that is relatable to our context today and to stay with the narrative that we've been building on from the first day. What is the symbolic significance of this? The symbolic significance. Yesterday, we already spoke about connecting to the mother, connecting to the divine goddess in her attribute as a compassionate being, graceful, dignified, compassionate source of energy, that form of Shakti. Today, we are connecting to her in the form of a mother. Now, what does the mother mean? Of course, mother is the one who nurtures us, cares for us, looks out for us, whatever we all have as our own understanding of the mother figure. What I'd like to highlight here, what I got in touch with as I was reflecting on these stories, is the womb. Of course, this divine child, did not come from the Devi's womb. The divine child never comes from the womb. It is created through whatever process directly, not from the womb. But in this context, we are focused on the nature of the womb and the quality of mother specifically as in the role of someone who nurtures and cares for a new life in the womb. Now, what is the womb? The womb is a place, I'm speaking now from our current context, not necessarily with regard to the story. The womb is the space in all of existence, in all of creation, our world. The womb is the point of entry of the soul. So every person who bears a child, every person who carries the capacity to bear a child, is seen as someone who is willing to be a portal. It is symbolic. It is real in the fact that to the extent that we actually physically bear a child and give birth to the child, but here we are considering the womb as a portal through which a divine being comes into this world. And the womb of the mother is considered the most appropriate portal, the most appropriate place through which a divine being enters this world to fulfill its destiny. Skanda's destiny was to kill Tarakasura. So, although it was contributed, the existence began with the sparks that came out of Shiva. Today, we focus more on Skanda Devi, who took on the role, the responsibility of nurturing Skanda. And in our context, I'm drawing it down further to connect to our potential as the mother and connect specifically to the idea that the womb is considered to be the portal for a divine being, because the truth of the matter is, no matter how we have understood it biologically, physiologically, scientifically, and so on, the fact of the matter is that a brand new being comes into existence. It's not just a growth of flesh and blood and bones. A life enters this world to fulfill its destiny, and the womb is considered the portal of entry from a different dimension into this dimension. And what really happens in the womb? What is symbolic? What is the womb symbolic of? So, not while there is a literal component to it, I'm also looking at it as a metaphor to represent something else. Because this kind of a womb, while it is true of the female body to have this potential, what would it translate to when we're talking in terms of masculine and feminine? What would it translate to? For me, the womb symbolizes the patra, the vessel, the space that is capable of transforming whatever you put into it and deliver back to you the best outcome, highlighting, delivering back to you an outcome, a shape and a form which is filled with potential. What I'm trying to say here is, one is the physical aspect of the female body carrying this potential. Okay, so that is the obvious reference. Now, if we put that reference aside, irrespective of whether we bear a human child or not, irrespective of whether we are male or female, what I'm referring to here is the capability of receiving a possibility. Because what did Shiva contribute? Just 6 sparks. Okay, so the capability of all of us to receive a possibility, hold it in incubation with utmost care and attention, with almost the entire focus of the mind, the entire focus of all our actions directed towards caring and nurturing this potential until it is ready to manifest, and then we deliver it to the world as a brand new manifestation of a potential. Now, this is a process that every one of us is likely to encounter, notwithstanding whether we are a male or whether we are male or female, we have human offsprings or we don't have human offsprings. Notwithstanding any of these conditions, what I'm referring to here is our ability to receive and hold almost as a secret our inspirations, our aspirations, sorry, our aspiration. Hold it, nurture it, care for it until it is ready to be delivered in a form. Exactly like, again, we can draw liberally from the analogy of an actual pregnant woman who's carrying a child. It is like a secret of sorts, right? I mean, we don't know how the child is going to look and the gender of the child. I mean, so many things we can loosely compare it to holding a secret. It's like there. Even I don't, if I'm bearing the child, even I don't know anything about that child. It's growing secretly inside me. So we keep it secret, like a secret, hold it very preciously. And what do? We are so mindful of what we eat, what kind of an environment that we are living in during that time. We are so careful that the environment is positive, it is loving, it is gentle. We are so cautious about what we put in our mouth, how we are going to, what kind of nutritious food, are we taking the right kind of nutritions? Are we taking the right kind of fluids? There's so much of attention given to nurturing this potential so that when the time comes, we are able to deliver it in its best form. So the womb then symbolically becomes a place of transformation. And in this context, how am I using the word transformation? What comes out will look very different from what you put in. How it's going to look, what shape or form is it going to take? All of that is unknown. So there is a process of transformation that is happening in the mother, that the mother is so holding with so much of preciousness and safeguarding it and nurturing it. And then suddenly, when she's ready to deliver, something so new and beautiful in a specific shape and form emerges. So, what does it mean, therefore, to invoke Skanda Devi or pray to Skanda Devi as this divine mother in the role of the mother who nurtures this child? What that would mean to us in our context is, I told you yesterday, please identify a specific area of focus during these 9 days, because I would like all of us to be able to engage in this process step by step through these 9 days so that we are able to bring this process to a successful stage of conclusion, or the next stage for transformation. We're able to nurture this across these 9 days. So, what does this mean to us? Whatever aspiration we have identified, in whatever context, in whatever area of our life, what is the vision that I hold for myself in that area? And myself could mean just me, could mean for my family, could mean for my workplace, my finances, my health. I have already mentioned all of that. So, what is that vision that I'm holding for myself that I wish to gather all the energies available to me through these 9 days so that I have a successful, I'm able to take a successful step forward? What is that aspiration that each one of you have identified? I'm calling your attention to that. Take a moment once more to review, go back in your mind and identify that aspiration that you've been working on over these last 4 or 5 days. And what would it mean if this aspiration has to be nurtured and cared for during this period of incubation? If you were to nurture it like you were giving birth, and again, let me just remind you aspiration, when I say the word aspiration, I'm referring to icha, not desire, but aspiration. And this aspiration, which is at this point a vision that is conjured probably as images in your mind, a surge of energy that immediately flows through you towards that aspiration, a surge of energy that you experience in your body the moment you connect to that vision. That is Shakti telling you, yes, you have this potential. And I'm instantly filling your being with energy to take you towards the potential. That potential has come alive in your being. Now we are engaging in the first step of manifesting it. This suggests that we have already invoked the masculine in us. We have already integrated with the masculine in us to take forward this aspiration to the stage of manifestation. So today, the mother is already carrying this potential, nurturing and caring for this potential until it is able to manifest and live out its destiny. Connect to this idea in the context of your personal aspiration, whatever you have identified for yourself. We are connecting to the process of incubation, where we do not want to expose this seed of an idea, this embryo. We do not want to expose this to any form of unfavorable energies, almost like a secret that we are bearing deep in our being. And while this aspiration is gaining strength and slowly converting into a form, connect to the process of gathering as much information as you need so that you are able to, guided by this information, you are able to manifest the best possible form. What kind of food, what kind of anything that you consume, how mindful will you be on what the mind consumes, what the body consumes, so that you are nurturing this aspiration. Bring into consideration your lifestyle, starting with your lifestyle, with your daily habits, with your regular patterns of behavior. Reflect on it. Reflect on it. Even as I'm calling it out, sit back and reflect on it. If this aspiration that I'm nurturing, I carry the potential for it, I'm nurturing this aspiration, this vision, and I would really like it to manifest, to show up in a way that I can see it in my life. If I'm really keen on being that mother to my own aspiration, what steps would I take to create the best possible environment in which I would like to nurture this? Is there any change I need to bring in terms of my habitual ways of behavior? Are there any toxins that I need to consciously become aware of and let go? Mental toxins, emotional toxins, toxic behaviors, toxins that I physically consume. What should I look out for? How shall I maintain the best possible environment in the whole of my being so that that which I am holding as an aspiration, which is in an embryo stage, will eventually appear in form in the best possible form. As you reflect on this, make a mental note. And this is the masculine in you which has to now stand up and support you. Evoke the Shiva in you. Invoke the Shiva in you. What are those definite steps that you will need to take in terms of actions? What kind of discipline do you need to create in your life? In which area of your life do you need to create this discipline? If you're not aware, please connect to Shiva for his guidance, the divine masculine. Shiva, or in any other, by any other name. I'm just using that here. Connect to the divine masculine in whichever name or form you relate to it and ask for guidance. What are those actions I need to take? What kind of discipline should I commit to? In which area of my life should I be disciplined? Should I bring in this discipline? What kind of boundaries do I need to put in place? Boundaries that will determine the kind of energies, the kind of environment around me, so that I am able to nurture this aspiration and bring it into existence to its full potential. What kind of habits will I need to drop? Are there any new habits that I need to pick up? New ways of being that I need to make a habit? As we reflect and gather our thoughts around these areas, let us now shift our attention to Skanda Devi, the Divine Mother. The mother who nurtured the child who was able to live his destiny to the fullest. So let us begin. Once we've gathered our thoughts, gathered ideas around these questions, I ask you to make a mental note of this and then move your attention to invoking Skanda Devi today, the divine goddess, the role of a mother. As always, we begin by taking our attention to the breath. With every inhale, as this invisible prana flows through you, as the body moves with every inhale and with every exhale, let us begin by acknowledging the presence of the Divine Goddess, Shakti, and Shiva. The form that we have and the breath that we have are the most intimate proof of the divine duo having come together to create each one of us, and who continue to exist as us, as every one of us, as every form that is in existence in all of creation. As you continue to breathe, be aware that every cell in your body, literally every single cell in your body, is a combination of Shiva and Shakti. And today we draw our breath from Skanda Devi in particular. Let us collectively send out our focus, our attention to Skanda Devi. Visualize or imagine every breath emanating from that divine form and flowing into you. You may connect to a specific image that comes to your mind of Skanda Devi. You may connect to just a feminine form, feminine energy, maybe just pure light. Trust whatever comes up spontaneously. Trust that you are now connected to the goddess in the form of the mother, the role of the mother. And with every inhale, you're drawing her energy, her Shakti into you. With every inhale, visualize or imagine the prana going into every cell and filling it up all the way from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Visualize or imagine each cell lighting up with the glow of motherly love, care, and compassion. When I say motherly love, care, and compassion, I'm referring to the will, because the feminine is all about will. I'm referring to the willingness to bring whatever change is required, bring whatever shifts that are required, as long as it is going to serve the best interest of the child that I bear. I am willing to put up with any kind of discomfort, remove myself from my comfort zone, learn new ways of being, cultivate new habits, clear my space mentally, emotionally, physically of any form of toxins, so that that which I am rearing will be able to take full form to its full potential, carrying its full capacity. That attitude is what I'm referring to as motherly love. What would that mean in your context? What in your context would you like to nurture with this kind of attitude? As you inhale, visualize, imagine, be creative, experience this specific quality of energy filling up every cell in your body until yet again the whole of your body is glowing with this energy. Feel her blessings, her presence gush through your body. Bringing to you the power and the will to care for whatever is your ichha. As your body is filling up with this Shakti, the Shakti to be a loving mother to that which you are nurturing as a baby, whatever that baby is to you today in your context. See the whole of your being infused with this form of Shakti, this quality of Shakti that will effortlessly, smilingly, happily take on any kind of challenge, any kind of shifts, only so that this child can receive the best. Visualize in front of you that aspiration that is in your focus today. What do you consider as that child in your life today? It could be your own children, For today's practice, you could just focus on your own children or focus on whatever is your icha, which you are giving birth to with this attitude. Visualize or imagine your own masculine right by your side, supporting you with the strength to follow through as actions whatever is required.